Have you ever wondered how a man born in a remote village in British Uganda would become one of the most feared dictators of the 20th century? Let's turn back the hands of time to May 17, 1925, when Idi Amin Dada was born in Koboko, a small outpost in British Uganda. His early life was far from remarkable, yet the seeds of ambition were sown. Amin's journey to power was paved by his rise through the ranks of the Ugandan military. His dedication, coupled with a thirst for power, led him to seize control of the country in a military coup in January 1971. The world watched in disbelief as this once obscure military man transformed into a ruthless leader. With the country in his grip, Amin commenced a reign that would be marked by brutality and economic chaos. What happens when a leader turns against his own people? The reign of Idi Amin was a chilling testament to this question. Under his rule, Uganda was subjected to widespread human rights abuses and political repression. The economy was mismanaged, leading to crisis and instability. But perhaps one of the most shocking decisions of Amin's rule was the expulsion of Uganda's Asian population in 1972. Approximately 80,000 Asians who had called Uganda their home were given a mere 90 days to leave the country. This decision led to significant economic disruption, as many of the expelled were integral parts of the business community. The State Research Bureau, under Amin's government, became an instrument of terror. It was implicated in countless human rights violations, instilling fear into the hearts of Ugandans. In 1976, the world's attention was riveted by the infamous Entebbe raid. An Israeli airliner was hijacked and flown to Entebbe, Uganda, where the hostages were held under the protection of Amin's forces. This event heightened international condemnation of Amin's regime, casting a global spotlight on the atrocities happening within Uganda's borders. Amin's reign was a time of terror, a time of suppression, a time of fear. His actions left an indelible mark on Uganda's history, a dark chapter that the nation has struggled to move past. The reign of terror had its grip on Uganda, and the world could only watch in horror. Every reign has its end, but what happens when the dictator falls? In 1979, the curtain finally fell on Idi Amin's reign of terror. His downfall, brought about by a combined force of Tanzanian troops and Ugandan exiles, marked the end of a brutal chapter in Uganda's history. But for Amin, the story didn't end there. He managed to evade justice, fleeing the country he had once ruled with an iron fist. His exile took him to Libya, then Saudi Arabia, where he lived out the rest of his days. Far from the public eye, Amin passed away in Jeddah in August 2003, leaving behind a dark legacy. But what of the country he left behind? Uganda, once a vibrant nation, was left reeling in the wake of Amin's brutal rule. The economic disruption caused by his expulsion of Uganda's Asian population, the widespread human rights abuses, and the political violence that marked his reign had taken their toll. Even after his departure, the aftershocks of his regime continued to reverberate. The scars of his rule etched deep into the fabric of the country, serving as grim reminders of a past that Uganda would rather forget. Idi Amin's rule may have ended, but the scars of his reign are still visible in Uganda today. The memory of his cruelty serves as a powerful lesson of the dangers of unchecked power and the devastating impact it can have on a nation.